double back, we ain't doing that. Say she mad, but I know it's cap. I've been through with that. Need someone to hype me up. Hype me up. Need someone to hype me up. Hype me up. Need someone to hype me up. Hype me up. Need someone to hype me up. Hype me up. Hype me up. Hype me up. I ain't got it, but they hands to the ceiling. I ain't palm reading, but I got them in they feelings, yeah. Ain't vanilla ice, but I'm iced out chillin'. Was the good guy till they made me the villain. Was gonna get a room, but they gave me a villa. I got Game Sports Center.
Bit of a sloppy track here at Soldier Field. Still getting some of the wraparound rain bands of a low-pressure system that's hovered over Chicago the last couple of days. Today we've got a Week 6 matchup for you here, as it'll be the Detroit Lions taking on the Chicago Bears. Set to go now in Week 6 of the NFL season, and we are underway on EA Sports.
Here we go, son.
And Robinson, the motion man right. Fields tapping it forward, jet sweep. Running free at the 45 as they finally wrangle him in at the 48. 23 yards on the play. Just a simple tap pass, but it pays off in a big way.
And sometimes the simple stuff causes the most problems for a defense because there's a breakdown in communication there. When that receiver goes behind the line of scrimmage and it looks like he's going in motion, someone either has to go with him or he has to be passed off to another defender. Somehow they didn't get that communicated well, and it turned into a nice play.
They run the option on second down. And he probably should have given that one off as he's going to get hit and taken down behind the line. Here's Fields now on second down. Going to let one fly for Robinson. And this is caught. Touchdown. A great play there. His 5th touchdown now on the year. And the Bears march right down the field in 3 plays to claim the early advantage. They said that they wanted to get him involved early, and what a way to cap their opening drive, Charles. We know he's one of the fastest receivers in the NFL, and he showcased it on that play.
And when you have a guy like that, you want to make sure the defense sees him early, right? You want to see how they're going to adjust, how they're going to try and guard him, because they can't replicate his speed in practice unless they've got one of the few guys who are as fast as he is. And all it took was one drive. He burned them, and I don't think it's the last time they call his number in this one.
He'll get it up past the 20 to about the 22. They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. He's got it to Williams. And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. Second and right at a yard. We'll see what kind of mindset they have here offensively after giving up the touchdown on the opening drive.
And based on our time with them, prior to this game, I feel like they've got a good mindset going in. In fact, the discussion that we had with the coaching staff was, we may give up some points in this game, so our offense has to be ready each and every time to either equal or try and get us ahead and try and keep us ahead. This is their chance to respond to that first touchdown given up.
No gain on the play, and now they're faced with a 3rd and 1. 3rd down and 1. Gibbs will try and pick it up. And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. 1st down Lions on a pickup of 13. The play action fake. They'll look to throw. He's airing it out for Williams. And in for the Lions touchdown. Jamison Williams, 56 yards. And the Lions respond to that opening drive touchdown with one of their own. Footing always a concern, but the extra point's up and good. And we are tied at 7. Each team's had it. Each team has scored. 7-7 here as the kick's away. And makes it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line.
Here we go.
At the line, prepping for their next drive, the Bears offense. This drive here beginning probably with a pair of motivated groups. Remember, the offense scored a touchdown on their last time out, looking to repeat that. And now off to the races down the right side. And he's going to step out of bounds at the 35-yard line. A big-time gain there on the keeper, using his legs to hurt him. 1st down. What a run there. I mean, you've got speed, elusiveness, escapability all rolled into one.
And we all know that quarterbacks are coached to get the ball to the guys who can do all the things you just described. You want those guys who have speed, elusiveness, and escapability all rolled into one with the ball in their hands. And guess what? It's him. So there's no sense in throwing it or handing it off when you can do all of that yourself.
11. Oh, let's go.
Now it's Fields. That's going to be caught downfield by Mooney. And they'll have it in the red zone before he crosses over out of bounds. 18 yards there, down to the 18 and a 1st down.
Someone sharp in this game. I mean, a touchdown pass on the first drive and comes right back, and he's flinging it around really well here.
Really nice throw there to pick up the 1st down. You kind of just feel a laser focus and confidence about him, and I think we saw that this week, didn't we? Talking to him and the coaches, they felt good about his performance coming up.
Yeah, I was really impressed with that last practice we saw when they went through 2-minute drill, when they went through all the different situations. Ball hardly hit the ground, and I thought, yeah, he might be locked in for this one.
And just a short gain that time as they're able to get him down.
Hey, 551.
Now contact up front as penalty markers come in. Who is this against? A little eager there coming in from his outside linebacker position.
You think the hard count got him there?
Yes.
Maybe that extra hut, that extra emphasis on it, got him to jump, and they picked up 5 yards.
The ball down at the 1 as they come up after the penalty on another 2nd and goal.
Hey, Can.
Fields now to throw. And he just chucked that one out of bounds, out of everyone's reach. Maybe a wise call not to take a sack in this part of the field. It brings up 3rd down. Quick throw complete. And he's going to be stopped up right at the line of scrimmage. The offense is staying out there. Here we go on 4th and goal from the 1. On 4th down, they'll try and run for it. And I'm not sure he got there. Did they stop him? They did. They stop him up short on 4th and goal from the 1. And the Lion defense able to come up there with a goal line stand. The Detroit offense ready to begin their drive. And they are trying to create some separation within the division. And look, CD, I know that this is still the first half of the season, but this is a big matchup no matter where it falls because these are the top two teams right now in that division.
Oh, and he's not going to make it out of the end zone. The push too strong, and that'll be a safety.
Every team has plays in their book to try and buy some room when a safety's on the table. But a big variable is how does each team deal with the pressure of executing in those situations? In this case, they didn't, and they gave up 2 points.
Fielded just inside the 20. And he'll get this up past the 25 before he's out of bounds.
Here we go.
Fields and the Bears now with a 1st and 10 at their own 27.
Delta. All right.
On play action, they'll throw. And the Lions pressure too strong. Down he goes. He'll wind up losing 8 on the sack there, and it's 2nd down.
And this is what you've got to do against a quarterback like him. You've got to keep him in the pocket and not let him get to the perimeter because once he gets outside, that's where he can really hurt you.
And now the throw here is incomplete, and with that, we come to the end of the first quarter of play. Through one quarter, 9-7 our score. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. To throw is Fields. He's got his target. That's complete. And he'll be touched down here, but not before he does pick up the first. 3rd and 19, no problem, as they're able to convert.
Well, we always hear about the connections some quarterbacks have with certain receivers. I think this guy has a connection with just about everyone. Didn't mind throwing it in there against double coverage to him.
Shows some confidence, supreme confidence.
Big-time confidence that he would make the play for him, and he did.
And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. So the ball moves into Lion territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 27. Now Fields. And this will be caught by Mooney. It'll be a gain of 5. And it'll be 2nd down. Fields changing the play. To throw again on 2nd down. Fields. And a quick throw here, that's complete. And he'll get him inside the 15 down to the 14-yard line. That one a 1st down pickup of 8.
Well, they've certainly done a nice job spreading the ball around on this drive. This time he gets it out to his back, and it's another nice play and another 1st down. They've got the defense on their heels a little bit. They're reacting instead of being aggressive and making plays.
And he lost the football. Could have been a costly mistake, but as it turns out, they keep possession.
You can't give away these types of opportunities in the red zone. And I'm sure that was flashing through his brain as the ball escaped his hands. Fortunately for him, able to get picked up by his team, fumble recovered. They still have an opportunity deep in the red zone.
And they'll be in search of 6 yards here on 3rd down. This is now the 9th play of the drive. Here's Fields. Pass to the sideline and pulled in. And just shy of the goal line as he's out of bounds right at the 1. He's exceeded his receiving yards from a week ago, and we're still in the first half. It's a 1st down.
Hey, Ken. Tonight.
They'll try to run this one in. And he is not going to get through here on try number 1. They stop him at the goal line. Another shot from the 1 on 2nd and goal. They'll try again. And he's into the end zone. Touchdown, Bears. A great effort there. His 3rd rushing touchdown on the year. And the Bears are able to stretch out their lead. No success on 1st down. He couldn't get any yardage. They give it to him again, and he finds the end zone.
Sometimes it just has to be persistence, doesn't it? And you know who else helps with that? Offensive line. After a team's been stuffed, the last thing they want to do is go to a different play call. They want to come back and do it again and show that they can dominate the line of scrimmage.
Joey slide out, a kickoff after the touchdown. And Williams going to sit on this one. It'll be a touchback. The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. And the last time they had the football, they surrendered 2 points on the safety. They don't want to do that one again.
No, not at all. It's almost like a bases clearing double, isn't it? Give up a couple of runs.
Sure.
just messes things up for you offensively. But now they've got to go ahead, take it, set it aside, and move forward.
Here's a 2nd and 7. And his throw's going to be incomplete.
To this point, I've been impressed with the work defensively. They have not allowed a lot of receivers to run free. And there's another example, another incompletion.
They head to the line facing a 3rd and 7 following the incompletion on 2nd down. Back to throw here. That one let go deep for Laporta. And that is incomplete.
This defense has certainly played well so far in this game, and the coverage has been tight on just about every throw. Forced a few here so far in this game, and now it brings up 4th down.
He was only asked to punt once in the victory last week as he sends this one away. This is brought in at the 21. 1:54 left on the clock here in quarter number 2. Coming up at halftime in a little less than 2 minutes, we'll send you to Orlando where Jonathan Coachman is standing by. He'll have highlights and analysis of this first half. The Bears offense ready to go for their next drive. And thus far, the weather has not slowed this offense down one bit. They've looked good so far in the first half.
They certainly have. And think back to our meeting with the head coach. And we asked him because we saw the forecast for this game, didn't we? We said, hey, have you prepared for this? And he talked about the different drills that they've done in adverse conditions, the wet ball drills, things of that nature. He said, I don't think it's going to slow us down much. We tend to handle it pretty well, and he's been right.
Here we go.
Here's 2nd and 10.
Hey, can't. Sit down.
Hands it off out of the gun. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. And now they're in the hurry-up. Running game working. They'll stick with it on 1st down. And he'll be taken down at about the 45.
Oh, that's a real nice job there by the defensive front. They just engaged and held their ground. But how about the guy who made the play? We often talk about whether they take a good first step or not. Many times you just don't take any step. Just get your feet moving, get your body going, and then once he made the read, he was able to make the play.
And some pretty strong running there as he'll take this across the 50 and down to the 44. On 1st down, they'll go to the ground attack. And a good job of finding the open space to run as he's down close to the 30 here. Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. Now a handoff running through the middle. And he's going to take this ahead for right around 3 yards, but no more than that. 2nd down. Now the Bears going to call the first of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 18 seconds to go in the first half. Here's 2nd and 7. Fields going to get this one out on the perimeter. And he's brought down at the 24 after a gain of 4. Now the Bears going to use the 2nd of their timeouts. So that means they're down to 1 remaining here as we head toward halftime.
Here we go.
The 8th play of the drive coming up. It's 3rd and 3. And that's incomplete. Clock stops with 10 seconds left.
I see the surprise in your face there, partner. That is a rare incompletion from him. He's been on point this entire game.
He has percentage completion-wise way up. Not that time. Sly able to put this one through, and that will extend their lead even further. So a capper there to a pretty good first half.
And I love the way that they put a chokehold on the clock and pretty much drained everything before they put the field goal on the board as they headed
So 6 seconds, all that remains of this first half as the kick is away. From the end zone, here comes Williams. And only able to get this to the 19, so probably should have opted for the touchback. The Detroit offense ready to begin their drive. And with only 4 seconds on the clock, time likely for just one snap of the football. And he's going to be taken down here as that will lead us to the end of the first half of play. So 2 quarters down, 2 remain. Charles and I return after the break. And we welcome you back now. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin, getting set for quarter number 3 here. Forecast calling for more of the same. The rain set to continue as we are underway in the second half. From the end zone, here comes Williams. And a nice job there on special teams to limit him to inside the 15 as he's dropped it to 14. The second half starts with a run by Gibbs. And they're going to get him behind the line yet again as his nightmare afternoon continues. That's going to wind up a loss of a full 3 yards on first down.
I think it's pretty evident. We can say what a difference a week makes. Last week, he ran pretty much wild, didn't he? Did pretty much what he wanted to do. But this one, they've stopped him cold. That, to me, that's good scouting and even better execution.
Yeah, and they stopped him behind the line right there. They obviously watched the tape a few times and made some adjustments. Off the play fake, he'll look to throw. That's caught. It's Sam Laporta. A big play there for Detroit. 41 yards. So the line of scrimmage moves all the way across the 50 now as they come up 1st and 10. And off to Gibbs, headed right here. The 20. 5. Touchdown, Detroit. Jahmyr Gibbs, 47 yards. And the Lions have got it back to within a score. No going for 2. They'll kick the point after. And this is back to a 5-point game. After the TD, here's Carpenter on to kick it away. And able to get this across the 20, but not much further as he's dropped it to 23-yard line.
Here we go.
At the line, prepping for their next drive, the Bears offense. But Charles, they still have the lead despite their defense giving up a touchdown on the previous possession. And even though they have that lead, it feels like a back-and-forth ball game where to try to get momentum back, maybe they need at least 3 here on this drive.
I think you're right about that, Brandon, because your game plan doesn't change. But I do believe your urgency does because of the last score that went against your team. So what you want to do now is have your own drive and try and make sure that that momentum stays in your camp.
And he's going to get this one across the 30-yard line. Man, I just love being in this stadium. So much history, tradition, so many great teams and games. And we're seeing a pretty good one right now, hotly contested. And this will be caught at the 30. And he's brought down after a very nice gain. So now then, the big play has him all the way inside the 30 now, 1st and 10.
First and 10 at the 28-yard line.
Fields. Nowhere to turn here, and he's going to go down. Back at about the 37-yard line.
It's a 10-yard loss. Brings up 2nd and 20 at the 37.
On 2nd down, McKee. And this play will be blown up. He'll lose yardage back at the 38. Just a 1-yard loss that time, but that's not what they needed. Now they're dealing with a 3rd and long.
How about the job there on the outside? Shed the wide receiver and was able to make the tackle on the perimeter.
Need something from deep in the bag of tricks here after 1st and 2nd down went backwards. It's 3rd and very long.
That's into a crowd and intercepted. Jack Campbell with a pick. And the Lions are going to take over once again at their own 37-yard line.
They'll take over 1st and 10 at their own 37-yard line.
Here we go.
The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive.
The last time out, they had to march almost the full length of the field for their touchdown. So here, much easier, Charles, with this better starting field position.
I love your sarcasm, but I love even more your observation because, look, what they did last time out, now with a shorter field, they should have a lot of confidence that they're going to put more points up on the board. That's some good closing speed there defensively because that looked open for a minute. But that's great work with the ball in the air. Never gave up, converged on his man, and broke the play up.
And 2nd and 10, he'll look to throw again. Got his man, it's Williams. 9 yards, not quite enough, and they'll be left now with 3rd and 1.
When you see zone defense and you know you've got a drag route on as your primary call, you've got to be really careful as a passer about how far you let your guy go because he might wander into some tough coverage.
A yard all they need, but it's 3rd down.
Here's a play fake as they set up to throw.
He's got his running back out of the backfield.
And taking it across midfield and just shy of the 40. It's an 11-yard pickup. Thought they'd run it on 3rd and 1. Not the case.
On 1st and 10, here's Gibbs. And he's got it to about the 40.
Well, how about the big guy there showing some agility? He just flowed from his D-tackle position in order to make that play.
Here's a 2nd and 8.
He'll look to throw. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete.
I think he had to unload that one before he wanted to. He was right up in his grill. I think he was a dentist there without a license, don't you?
Just not enough time for the play to develop. Just lucky it wasn't a fumble, really. On 3rd down, he'll drop to throw. And that's going to be incomplete. The contact there enough to jar that ball free, and it brings up 4th down. So now they're going to send out the field goal unit to, as they say, fire away from long distance. They'll spot it at the 47, so call it a 57-yard attempt. And that's off the right upright, and it bounces away no good. And this will remain a 5-point game. The Bears offense ready to go for their next drive.
But not an ideal way to end their previous drive. They threw the interception, Charles, after they had built up some momentum. They were moving the football, but something to at least build on for this offense as they run back out here.
Yeah, you're right about that. Up until that last play, everything was working pretty well for this offense, gaining chunks of yardage, getting 1st downs, really making a push for the end zone, and looked like they had a nice rhythm going. Now you got to have a short memory here. Don't focus on the interception. Focus on what came before it and get back to it.
Right back to him on 1st down. And not a whole lot of room to operate there on the 1st down run. He gets maybe 3. We have played 3 quarters. We'll return with more after this. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports.
They'll come up 2nd and 7.
Up the middle they go. McKee. And a pretty good run as he'll get this down close to a 1st at the Lions' 29. The Bears on 3rd down, 2 for 5 to this point. They're up against a 3rd and 1 situation. Look at this, middle of the field, a breakaway. And he takes this one in for a Bears touchdown. A great play there. 29 yards. And the Bears are closing in on a third straight win as they widen the gap further here in the fourth quarter.
We see this a lot on third and short yardage, especially down here in the red zone. They're going to sell out to stop the run, try and hold them to a field goal. But once the running back gets past the first wave, the resistance can evaporate after that. And he not only picks up the first, but he takes it all the way into the end zone.
Joey Sly now to kick off after the touchdown. And they're going to start this drive in pretty good shape up past the 30.
At their own 31-yard line.
Ready, set.
The Detroit offense ready to begin their drive.
And you figure after giving up that last touchdown, they trail by 2 scores here in the fourth quarter. This drive becomes very critical.
They'll come out throwing here on first down. And his throw's going to be incomplete. Throwing the football, he's not as sharp as he was last week when he was over 70%. Right now, he's under 50%.
Well, that comes from extra game film, extra time. You know those guys watched him all week, saw how precise he was, and constructed a defense to try and chip away at that. And thus far, they've been successful.
He'll try again with the arm here on second down. Oh, you saw that one coming. It's intercepted. Throwing back across his body.
He may go.
And they will score a pick-6 for a Bears touchdown.
And that pick-6, that was the first turnover forced by the defense in this ballgame, CD.
And what's even better is when they finally forced one, they kept the effort up and were able to return it for a score. They could hear their defensive coaches saying to them, hey, getting the interception's great. Can you do more with it? Turn it into a big play. And they did exactly that.
Extra point by Sly is up and good.
And that will make this a 19-point game. So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick-6. And now the kick is away. And they're going to wind up with pretty good starting field position as they get it up past the 35.
37-yard line.
The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive.
And their 4-game win streak very much in jeopardy as they go to work here late with a 1st and 10.
Throwing here to start the drive as they connect left side. And he's brought down. Looking to speed things up here, going with some tempo.
A gain of 19 yards.
Now on first down, he'll drop to throw it.
First down.
Oh, he tried to fit it in on the slant, and it's intercepted. Tyreek Stevenson picks it off.
And it's a huge return as he brings this all the way back down to the 15-yard line.
Line of scrimmage, the 15. It's 1st and 10.
One back in the backfield, he'll get the carry. And they get to him quickly here as he's stopped right around the 13.
2nd down and 8.
A gain of 2. Brings up 2nd and 8. At the 13.
And they'll keep leaning on the running game back to the ground. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage.
A loss of 1. It's now 3rd and
They'll fake the handoff. Now Fields.
Sliding out of the pocket. And he is in. Touchdown, Chicago.
Justin Fields.
His 10th touchdown of the season, 2nd of the game.
And the Bears are looking to run it to 5-1 on the season as they add to their 4th quarter lead. Extra point by Sly is up and good.
And that will bump the lead up to 26.
Joey Sly now to kick off after the touchdown.
And they're going to start this drive in pretty good shape as they get it up past the 30.
their own 33-yard line.
Let's go now.
The Detroit offense ready to begin their drive. And they've sort of lost their way, partner. How do they recalibrate and get this proverbial train back on track?
Well, this is where leadership really comes into play. How's the head coach handling it? The offensive coordinator? Sometimes they just make a joke. All right, guys, you had your fun? All right.
Throw it out the window.
Yeah, let's get back on track here. And sometimes that'll work just fine.
I guess it's time now to lean on that leadership.
Here we go.
Under 4 to go now as they come up on second down. They're going to look to throw.
Setting up the screen. This is Gibbs.
And he'll get up to the 43-yard line. And the offense moving quickly to the line.
70 Ranger, 70 Ranger.
On third and short, they'll try and pick it up through the air.
That is caught. And he is going to have a Lions first down, and he'll have it by plenty as they're able to keep the drive alive on 3rd and inches. Straight ahead with Gibbs here.
And he's got it across midfield and into Bear territory.
Ball spotted at the 45. Here's a 2nd and 4.
Now back to throw. Forced out to his left. And eventually taken down here. Great coverage downfield. Call it a loss of 5, a big sack to bring up 3rd down.
We all know he's one of the better quarterbacks in the league, but definitely not today. His team trailing by multiple touchdowns and a late sack. Just a parting gift from the defense for him to take back to the locker room with him.
Out of the gun now on 3rd down.
This pass down the field for Gibbs.
Touchdown!
Jahmyr Gibbs
with career touchdown number 75.
And the Lions are able to make some inroads here to that deficit.
So the Lion offense staying on the field as they're going to try for 2. They're going to try and run. And he will find the end zone again. So he gets the touchdown and the 2-point conversion. And that'll cut this deficit down a little bit further. After the TD, here's Carpenter on to kick it away.
And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line.
Here we go.
At the line, prepping for their next drive, the Bears offense.
It's been a dominant performance to this point, Charles, and this is probably exactly how they scripted this and envisioned it. They got a 3-score lead, 4th quarter, and a chance if they want to continue to pour it on here.
It is their call, isn't it? I mean, the way that they have taken on this game and the way that they have carried this game and have dominated this game, you're exactly right. Do what you want down the stretch. We are in the era of, hey, if you don't want us to do this to you, then you need to stop us. Their call to finish this one off.
114 yards rushing for him now as he has been tremendous all day long.
Easy. Right.
Now it's Fields off the bootleg. A throw left side taken in by Kmet.
Touchdown Bears! Cole Kmet, his first touchdown on the year.
And the Bears are able to widen their advantage. So they get their tight end away from the line to the outside, and he works his way in for 6.
Tight ends are not just blockers anymore. I don't know how many more times we need examples, but here's a great one. Gets to the outside, they give him the ball pretty quickly, and they trust him to get those extra yards, and boy, did he come through, bowling his way into the end zone after the nice catch.
Yeah, the touchdown apparently wasn't enough. They're going to go for the onside kick here. And the Lions are able to cover this one up. 4th quarter, they felt like they needed the football back. Unfortunately, they couldn't get it.
And I know we've brought analytics into the game, and someone has said here that the data says that when a team's expecting an onside kick, 80% of the time, the team expecting it, they do actually recover the ball, which is what we saw here. I just wonder if that number is much more of a anecdotal type of a number. Kind of like when the coaches tell us, well, when you score on special teams, 93% of the time you win the game. I'm still waiting to see that number is empirical.
And he's going to be intercepted for the 3rd time thus far. picked off by Jaquan Brisker.
And they will finally stop him as he's down to the 40-yard line.
I'll tell you, far from ideal conditions to play in, but neither offense has had much trouble. Plenty of points to go around. 1st and 10.
Now it looks like he'll throw here. And this is caught. And they are going to score again. Yet another touchdown as they just add to their totals.
So still throwing here in the 4th quarter with a pretty sizable lead, and now that lead even more sizable. And if nothing else here, CD, a chance to pile on some stats before this one wraps up, and he did.
Oh, and now they're going to fake it to the goal line, but it's incomplete.
Well, I have to admit, I'm scratching my head a little bit here trying to make sense of what I just saw. Number one, huge lead. Just kick the extra point and be done with it. Number two, if you are going to go for two, just line up and go for it from the 2-yard line. Why make it so difficult? That's a long way to go to try and pick up some points.
From the end zone, here comes Williams. And he returns this to the 22. The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. Where we stand right now in the 4th quarter, this one pretty much out of reach. And, Charles, I know they're going to be disappointed about several things with this ball game, but the self-inflicted wounds, they've had several turnovers. You would have to think that's going to be something they're going to discuss heavily in the film session in the coming days.
You're absolutely right about that, partner, because they're going to have to sit in that film room and watch every error that they made and figure out how to not do it in the future. And mentally, I think a lot of the guys are already starting to think about, okay, how do we put this behind us and get better for the next time out? This, they'll use as motivation for the rest of the time that they play to hopefully never be in this type of situation again.
An incomplete pass on 2nd down leads us to 3rd and inches. He'll drop to throw. He's going to let it fly. And that's caught inside the 30. Now they got to get to the line quickly. They'll stick with the passing game as he looks to throw. Got his man complete over the middle. That's Gibbs. So the completion good for 7 there. And it's 2nd down. And they're going to hurry back to the line now. On play action, they'll throw. And it's intercepted at the goal line.
And the Bears are going to have it here at their own 9-yard line. Well, they've got the huge lead. Now they have another interception on the defensive side. Seems like everything they touch in this one, Charles, turns to gold.
And they have to be awfully happy right there to get what appears to be one more for the road and help seal away one of their best efforts of the season.
The Bears offense ready to go for their next drive. They're looking at a 3rd straight win here if they can hold on. On play action, Fields escaping the pressure right. On the run, he'll let this go deep right side. And this will be caught at the 30.
And he'll be brought down with a penalty flag on the field. It was a late decision to throw, and it might have been too late. Charles, a lot of happy faces heading into the tunnel as this one ends, and understandably so. Not only did they get the win, but boy, their offense was on fire in this ball game.
And partner, I have no idea what the top speed is on one of those high-end sports cars. What's the top gear you can get into? This offense, they certainly were there in this one, huh? Everything clicking for them in this contest, the kind of performance that they're going to cherish.
So for Chicago, their strong start to the year continues as they're up to 5-1. And they'll get to stay home again next week. Meanwhile, for the Lions, the loss will drop them to 4-2 on the year. And they'll be off to Minneapolis next week for a look at new U.S. Bank Stadium and a date with the Vikings. And for Charles Davis and
fresh, so full bliss, we going all out. It don't matter any time of day, I came to ball out. We TCG, never ducking smoke or any call out. Better be ready to go to war until we fall out. 0 to 60 like Ludacris, we came to roll out. You know I gotta get my check, so please don't make me hold out. Bust down Cuban the summer day, I make it cold out. They was hot then, now they cold now. Left wrist dripping, I got it froze now. Went from rags to riches, take the clothes now. My name heavy all across the globe now. We ain't playing HBCU, I strike up the band. Stomping on them like a cute dog or alpha man. In Miami, hard rock jumping like a rock band. You know me, I love my green and cheese like a Packers fan. I'm a player, gotta keep it player, how the game go. With the steppers, I ain't gotta tell them, they just train to go. Calling plays and I'm calling shots like the head coach. First class, so we take the private, we don't do coach. They was hot then, now they cold now. They was hot then, now they cold now. They was hot then, now they cold now.
Dirty, yeah, you know we global with it. Black fit, limo tint, you don't know who in it. Whole team having motion, world know who winning. I'm known for handling business, the other dudes known for dissing. Big motion, boy, big vibing, boy. Tell her pipe that loud talk down, cause they ain't making noise. Yeah, homie, we them boys, who they be preaching about. If you see LT around, ballers bound to make a crowd. Let it try.
Many, money, mo, I knock them down 3 in a row. From the street straight to the field, from the field right to the show. All my dogs are trained to go. Make sure my people don't work no more. Been let down so many times and stand on my back, I swear it don't hurt no more. Got dirt all on my hands, but I still watching and count this money. I had to stop rocking so many chains, I was trying to work out and it hurt my stomach. I get them rap, that boy mommy. Black on black, this Maybach done. When times was dark, we stood on the block around the clock. Now my life, son, I had to make it out. Rest in peace to Dolph, I took that paper out. Wanted some more laying out on the dough and bought my neighbor's house. I done so many favors for some people, feel like I'm favored out. No eating in, we taking out. Same people who was cheering, they hating now, but so what? Dan Marino seats inside this Rolls